Hi, Anissa Coy here with Firehouse Education, and you guessed it, Ask Anissa video column. Happy Friday, since you're probably watching this on a Friday, by the way. Hope you have a great weekend plans going on. So the question that I want to talk about this week came into me, and someone was asking me, they said, I watched your video series on handling difficult clients, and that was great. Love the videos. However, I'm sure at some point you've had a client that's been upset about something somehow. How do you handle it when you have a client that is just upset about something? Maybe you did it wrong, maybe you didn't. They just aren't happy. Like, how do you turn the situation around? That is a wonderful question, and I want to make sure and clear something up. When I talked in that video series about, training your client to do business with you the way you want and how you set everything up so that you don't have these problems, and I stated that I rarely have problems, this is very true. And 99% of the time, I'm walking away with a raving video testimonial. However, I don't even want to imply for 1 second that I've never had an upset client, okay? Because if you're in business, especially consumer, and you're dealing with clients who, let's face it, a lot of them are in some pretty emotional state right now and devastation, you would be, just, that's not going to happen, that you're never going to have an upset client. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So, a client can get upset for a variety of reasons. And in that video series that I did before, about handling difficult clients, those are ways that you can really minimize or get rid of this these type of circumstances from occurring. However, stuff happens. So, I've had some clients get upset because we accidentally drop something and it shatters and breaks, cracks, whatever. Irreplaceable, of course, that's, what usually happens. Or even though it was a complete innocent accident, we've done everything great, but that just did it for them. Or having a customer get upset because even though they're very well aware of our expectations, what we can do, we've set up that time frame and what we can do on the job, they just wanted a different result. They just wanted a different result. And oftentimes, it could be because they're unhappy with their insurance company. It's got nothing to do with the restoration contractor, but they're not happy with their insurance company. Maybe their agent didn't sell them enough coverage, so they're actually upside down here and in a mess with their job, which happens too often, and things like that. So, that's not in your control to really be able to do anything about, but you're still dealing with an upset client. So the question was, how do you deal with an upset client? So I want you to really think about, there's several ways of doing that. I'll tell you what I do. You got to understand that when a client's upset, they're not being a jerk. Are there people out there that are, yes, okay, I know that. And there are just difficult people you aren't going to make happy. On one of my videos before, I told you I've fired clients. I've left jobs because I didn't want to work with that person. So, but however, the majority of the time I find that people are just really stressed out, okay? Before the fire happened in their house, before the circumstance that put them upside down, life is now chaotic, and I'm just trying to get day to day, they might have had a lot of stress in their life to begin with. They might be going through a divorce. They might have a, teenager that they're having difficulties with. They might have a child that is been ill. There's a lot of reasons that people can have stress in their life, okay? So the upset could be stemming from a whole lot of other areas, and they really have very little to do with this restoration job. It's just this job was like one more thing that now they have to stress about and deal with, and it adds to their anxiety levels. So remember that. So the thing that I always do, there's a couple of key things I want to bring up. When you have a client that's upset, and I don't care what they're upset about, okay? I want you to be communication is the number one way to diffuse a situation like this. Even if a client's upset with something that's completely out of your control, like maybe they're ticked off at their insurance company because they are not going to cover something on the job, communicate with them, talk with them, make sure that they understand that you have empathy for them. Make sure that they feel like you are listening to them, they're being heard, that their feelings and their outcome for this job matter. That is what they really, that's the only thing you can give them, and it's really what they want from you in that instance. They know it's not your fault and that you can't do anything about their insurance policy. So communicate with them. It's very important. Let them know, I understand this is a tough situation. Even if you're not giving them a solution, then they feel understood and heard. And it's going to take their stress level down a lot. And it's going to take a lot of that off of your shoulders that could definitely be misdirected at you. Okay? Another thing is that I'm always, when I have a client that's upset, even if it's, for instance, here's a perfect example. I had one of my son, I'll totally throw you under the bus here, Travi. My son dropped a very special teacup right in front of the client after it was already cleaned and restored, and it just literally shattered in umpteen pieces. She was beyond upset. I was able to find another teacup that was identical to it, which was amazing, at an antique store. Very happy to buy it and replace it for her, but she didn't want it because it wasn't that exact cup that, I don't remember where she got it, but it wasn't that exact cup. There was just nothing, and everything else on the job was amazing and great, and there was nothing I could do to make her happy. Nothing. She didn't want me to buy the cup. I just couldn't make her happy. So what I wound up doing was I buy every client a gift at the end of every job anyway, and I send them a gift. But I actually sent her personally a little something extra. And I sent her a really beautiful teapot with 2 teacups with saucers. And I think it had a rose bush in it. I can't remember. This was a little while ago. The teapot actually came with roses in it. And so I sent that to her and said I just wrote a personal note in it, and I said I'm really sorry about the teacup. If you would like me to replace that offer still stands. Please let me know. Okay, so I think she was still upset. I hope that gift went a little ways, but what I did was I didn't get upset back at her. Okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say in that instance. It's really big not to get upset back at your client if you can. Under, of course, there's some extenuating circumstances, but understand they're going through tough times, what they're upset about and how they're acting, whether it's even at you because of dropping a teacup, something you did, probably has nothing to do with you, and can be just, a lot of other forces playing in that. So anyway, I hope that helped. I do get upset clients, but there are ways that you can help with the situation when that does happen, whether or not it's something you or your team did or something completely out of your control. And just remember, in this industry that we're in, it's all about, helping the people through that emotional side of it. And yes, it can be definitely challenging, but definitely doable and very rewarding to help people through such a difficult time. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching the video, and I appreciate all your questions. Don't forget to send me an email at anisa@firehouseeducation.com if you have more questions, or comment on the video below. And on that note, I will see you on the next video.